All right, all right, all right, all right. It is so good to see you guys. So good to be here. So good to be alive today, right? To be available, to be supported, and to be in this space this collaborative space that we get to be in today. Um, Today we're talking about something special. We're going to be sharing some ideas today that I think are some of the most powerful ideas that you're going to need to move your performance to a high level. That's what we're talking about today. High level performance and how it relates to the benefits that you receive as the performer and how it relates to the benefits that you share to your audience, to your clients, to your investors, to your shareholders, to people that depend on you to bring some magic to their lives. So there's all kinds of ideas and concepts that may have been floating around. We're going to dispel some of the myths. We're going to explore some of the data and some of the facts. We're going to talk about some of the historical thoughts and ideas that are out there about high level performance and how it benefits you and how it benefits others. And so hold on to your seats as we get more and more into benefits, benefits, benefits. But before we go there, got to talk about some of the people that make this program available to you. I can't do this without the benefit of all of my high level clients who literally give me the ideas every week as we move through their coaching processes about things that entrepreneurs and business leaders need to know, things that I need to then go and then produce training and development materials about around and then speak to those issues. So I'm very, very, very thankful to each and every one of my clients, each and every one of the people that entrust me with the information that we need to work through in order to guarantee the outcomes and phenomenal success that they're all experiencing. I've been in this game now for about 25 years, and I've been helping entrepreneurs and business leaders get to the next level of success for themselves. Not only get to that next level, but maintain extremely high levels of performance that move them forward faster than they ever could have had they not been in touch with some of the systems, some of the tools, some of the strategies that have helped them embrace and then adopt and use in their business performance. I've got to thank also the brothers at Phi Beta Sigma, my fraternity brothers. You can see my little picture over here with my little hat on, right? My fraternity brothers have sponsored all that we do here at Coach Parlor Training and Development and helping to make sure that they put the word out and make sure that they're connected because they know all of the things that we're doing here are supportive of our notions and our ideas of fraternity of bigger and better business. How do we create an ecosystem of opportunity for small businesses and what do we do to support that ecosystem? Well, that's what I've dedicated my life and my business about. And so when my brothers made me the director of bigger and better business for the chapter, it only made sense to support things that I was already doing. And so this is what's one of those things. And so I'm so glad to have the brothers support, so glad to have them here on the chat, have them involved and connected. Like always, those of you who are out there can find this on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram as well. And you can find all of the back sections on all of those things. So we've been recording well over 200 episodes of Coffee Tea You and Me since right before COVID hit, really big time. We had to stop moving on our systems to a personal involved every week coaching session, group coaching session to this now online profile. It's also sponsored by the Roundtable. The Roundtable is a weekly organization that I run with my partner Dan Marcourt, and we teach people how to network and how to grow their network and how to grow their leverage within their networks in a very, very superior and positive way. And so you might get a sneaky peek into some of those things. So today's topic, let's get into it. Today's topic super special. We don't have any guests today to worry about or think about. So you guys get me right straight up, right? Anything you have to ask, anything you need to put right in the chat, right in the comment section, just go for it. If there's an idea you want to share, if there's something that you're doing in your business that you want to share. Share your website, share whatever events you're going to be attending or things that you got coming up. I'll definitely make sure that we highlight it, we spotlight it, we talk about it. And so, don't keep yourself a secret and don't keep Coach Powell a secret. In fact, if you hit the share button and you're able to tell your friends, hey, I'm watching Coach Powell right now, that's a great thing for you. That's a great thing as well. Love to get many more subscribers and many more people that are on board with the Coach Powell train as we develop and help as many small businesses as we possibly can. The more we do together, the more we can accomplish. And I really, really, really love that focus. Um, I'm going to send my friend a link to this right now. So you guys have to just hold on just a second. I'm going to turn the music back on while I do that because I got a feeling we might have a guest coach coming in. Okay. Now, if I'm lucky today, we actually may have one of my guest coaches showing up. Um, can't make any promises, but if we're lucky, we might just get lucky. What are we talking about today? Today, we are talking about benefits, benefits, benefits. And this is number 11 of the series on benefits, benefits, benefits. And today I want to share with you the 9 rules of high performance. And these rules are really, really important because when you understand these rules, and you really, really embrace them and take them in to your life and your business and how you do business, you're going to grow. You're going to grow phenomenally well, phenomenally fast. And before we get into the 9 really high powered performance rules that affect the benefits that you receive and the benefits that you deliver, I want to share with you 3 quotes that I think set the tone and the mindset of how we're going to get into this today. So I want you to listen carefully to these quotes. The first quote is from Anne Lamott. Lamott says, writing has so much to give, so much to teach, so many surprises that things that you had to force yourself to do, the actual act of writing turns out to be the best part. It's like discovering while you thought you needed the tea ceremony for the caffeine, what you really needed was the tea ceremony itself. The act of writing turns out to be its own reward. How many times have we sat down to put pen to paper about our best strategies, our best plans, our best thoughts and ideas that we can execute on and that we want to execute on? Hold on to that thought because we're going to keep this party going. The next quote I want to share with you is from Vincent van Gogh himself, the great artist. He says, it's good to love many things, for therein lies true strength. And whosoever loves much, performs much, and can accomplish much. And what is done in love is well done. That's a mouthful right there. Van Gogh told us how important it is to find the meaning and the effort of true strength. What is true strength? Where does it come from? Where do you get it from? You get it from love. Whosoever loves much can accomplish much. But what do you love? And what is it that you love about the processes and the things that you are able, the systems and strategies that you're able to embrace? And how can you use those systems and processes and strategies that you love to accomplish much? Because what is done in love is well done. How is that true for you? How well do you do what you do for love. The last quote I want to share with you before we get into the topic is from the Bible. And the reason why I share this quote from the Bible is because not only is it impactful, but it reminds us of some things that I think we all need to be reminded of. Here's what it says. And from Galatians chapter 6, verses 3 through 4. For if anyone thinks he is something when he is nothing, he deceives himself. But let each one test his own work, and then his reason to boast will be in himself alone and not his neighbor. What this passage is saying to us clearly, if you think that you're something of worth when you're nothing, it's a pretty bad position to be in. But a lot of times we let our ego talk us into believing some things that are just not true about the value that we bring to the table and the things that we do. And when we do that, we're deceiving ourselves. Self-deception is destructive. But it also goes on to say, let each one test his own work. And then his reason to boast will actually be in himself alone and not in his neighbor. So what's that saying? That's saying, don't be afraid to test what you're doing. Don't be afraid to try it out. Don't be afraid to ask for feedback. Don't be afraid to admit, "Ah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure this is going to work. So I'm going to give it a shot and see if it's going to work and see how well it works. If it does, in fact, work, don't be so boastful to say and make claims that you can't prove. And don't be out there just doing stuff for the sake of doing stuff. If you're trying to grow, you're trying to learn, you're trying to embrace a new thought process, a new idea, then don't be afraid to test it. Don't be afraid to put yourself to the test in live action testing environments. You know, in the military, we do this quite a bit. And we share things with each other in a way that we actually can test it. We actually can show up for one another. And we can create opportunities, live fire exercises where we can really, really see what we're worth, see what we're doing, see if what we're doing actually is functional or useful. But we're also, while we're doing that, we're building muscle memory, right? It's called practice. It's called rehearsal. It's called building your bench strength, right? Oftentimes when I'm with my clients, I give them work to do in between the calls that we have, right? That's their practice. That is the discipline that they're engaging in that's strengthening their muscles. And in a way, it's testing their fortitude, improving to them that they have what's necessary to perform at a high level. And when they come back to the next coaching session, having completed or done the exercises or the work, so to speak, that we requested them to do, they feel good about it and they feel more confident because they know for a fact they are more competent in a certain specific situation. And so those three quotes, again, set up our talk for today. And they help us to really understand what we're now going to get into, which is the rules of high performance. First rule is don't be afraid to write down your execution plan, no matter what anybody tells you, no matter what you're doing. You need to commit to a detailed, well-written, brilliantly articulated plan of flawless execution so that you have your best shot at actually putting your best foot forward, right? You want to be a high performer, then plan to be a high performer and then execute on that plan well. Now, there's something that happens when you write it down. When you take pen to paper yourself, it doesn't work as well when you're typing, but when you actually take the time to write down, here's my plan. Here's what I'm going to do. Something happens between the ink or the pencil, that's flowing on the paper. Something happens between your brain and that tactile process of creating. Yes, I could get AI to do a plan for me. And I can go through and review it and try to do everything I can to make it my own. However, when I write it down myself, when I interview my friends or when I look at my clients or my supporters or my investors and I ask them, what should I be putting into my plan of success? And I take that feedback and I put it all together and I make my own gumbo and write my own plan. And then I share it back with those same people. And they tell me, that's a good plan. We like that plan, right? I have the benefit then of knowing that I'm doing the thing that I need to do to gain the support of the people on which I wish to ask for their support. But if I don't talk to them, those that I want to invest in me, those that I want to share, those that I want to share my success, or those that are following me in terms of being an employee or a contractor that I'm working with, if I don't share clearly what I wish for, what I hope for, where I'm going, then I have a high likelihood that I won't get the support from them that I want to get. And that doesn't matter whether they're an investor, a shareholder, a referral source, somebody that's going to give you endorsement or support in any way, shape, or form. You want to make sure that your plan they've reviewed and they've put their stamp of approval on it. If they don't put their stamp of approval on it, I mean, again, if people that you respect and hold in high regard, right? We talked about respect before, right? People that you respect and hold in high regard don't put the stamp of approval on your plan. How can you then turn around and ask them for their support in terms of your execution? How can you ask them to be accountability partners? How can you ask them to lend their resources and their talent and their treasure to whatever it is you're trying to do? You must write it down. That's rule number one. Rule number two. And by the way, let me back into the benefits here. Once you've written it down, the benefits to yourself is it's a clear plan of action. It's not something that you're going to write just to get some funding. It's not something that you're going to put together just to, win a RFP. It's not something that you're going to put together just to get somebody on board that's going to come in and work with you. That's not what you're doing. That's not just, it's not that. It's the plan that you're going to execute on the thing that you need to do more than anything else. Right? So it's not going to be all comprehensive, possibly anything and everything everybody can look at it and improve it. No, I'm talking about specific detail, and that's going to help you get into the zone, get into that moment, that mojo moment where you got your mojo working and you're working correctly because you've also asked the right people if this is the right way to go. And they've identified for you that it is the right way to go, and they've helped you understand that yes, you are in fact on the right path to a great amount of success. That sets the bar of expectations really high, not just for you, but of others. And it helps you stay accountable. It helps you stay true to the game. It helps you dig in deep and do the thing you need to do. That's the benefit back to you. And the benefit back to them is they get to witness their advice in action. They get to witness their input in action. They get to feel better about themselves and their contribution because they helped you create the plan. Y'all don't hear me. I know y'all don't hear me talking about that because I will be hearing a whole bunch of thumbs up and amens if you didn't. But you need to get this. It's it's tremendously important. Number two, discover and share talent correctly. What do I mean by this? You have talent, right? Everybody has talent. Everybody has some gift, something that they've been given by the creator on high. This is something that you are capable of better than most in. This is something that's a gift that you have been given. I firmly believe that that gift is connected to your purpose of why you're here on the planet. And it's your job to hone this gift and then to share this gift. Now, when I say share this gift, are you sharing your gifts with people who don't need it? Then it's kind of hard for them to accept it with the level of respect and adoration that you may need. Your return on that investment may come back short. It may come back fallow. It may not be where you want it to be. And you want to make sure that you get your return on that investment. Why take the time to practice and rehearse and work on your strategy, execute this plan, only to have it not well received by the people that you wish and hope that it will be well received by? Why would you do that? Why, again, spend that time? Why waste that opportunity, right? You don't want to do that. And so it's better if you just keep it to yourself. At that point, am I right? So let's make sure that you're talking to the right audience. Let's make sure you're being specific and focused on what that audience needs to see in your performance so that your performance has even a shot of being received correctly. That's what I mean by sharing and discovering and sharing your talent correctly. Discover your talent, work on your gifts. One of the greatest books that has been ever been written is really Strength Finders, in my point of view. It's really understanding those gifts. And those are written by, there's a whole Strength Finder series of books, all written by the same gentleman who used to work uh, for a big market research firm. The name escapes me right now. I probably shouldn't be talking about it, but I'll get to you. I'll get it to you in the chat. How about that? After the meeting's over, because you need to know. Marcus Marcus Buckingham. That's his name. Marcus Buckingham wrote that. He wrote the whole Strength Finder series. The stuff he didn't write personally, he had major input into. So it's masterful information. If you get a chance to go and read those books, because there's a whole series of them, they're great. They're wonderful. They're going to help you really think about what talent is and what talent isn't, what your talent should be and what it isn't, and what you need to do to hone in on the things that you need to hone in to make sure that your talent has the trajectory that it should. All right, number three. Number three is masterfully seek and acquire the most relevant feedback. Now, what do I mean by that? Again, I said earlier, there are people who you need to be closer to, who you need to have a higher level of connection with and a higher level of respect with. And these people may be people that you look up to. These may be people that, if you don't look up to them, you probably should look up to them because they're captains of industry. All right. They control resources that you might need. They are able to, with just a nod, go, yeah, we're going to put some effort and some energy behind this initiative. And the thing about those people is you can't come to them and ask for their help and their information, all that kind of stuff, um, when it's too late. When you need it like yesterday, right? You that's too late to build a relationship, right? You need to get in front of those relationships early. And so in order to do that, you need to start to building that pace where people will give you the feedback you need to give. And the feedback that when they find themselves giving it to you, they also find themselves giving you more. That's what happens when you impress people that are impressive people. When you impress people that are, again, captains of industry, masters of the universe, these people, when they give you feedback and it's positive feedback, they're excited that if you use their feedback and you come back to them and you report that your feedback was responsible for helping me gain traction on this idea, in this project, in this program. And when that feedback comes back positive, you better bet they want to hear about it, right? And when they hear about it, they can't wait to do more. So why would you try to build relationships with people who really can't give you any positive feedback? They can't give you the kind of feedback that's going to elevate you. They can only give you the kind of feedback based on their experience in their life, which, quite frankly, is not adequate to where you're trying to go. So seek the feedback from people who you should be seeking the feedback from, people who you should be looking up to, people who you should be listening to, people you should be, asking questions about the industry, or uh, eh, the programs that you're delivering, and so on and so forth. Because that feedback is going to be a feedback that comes with along with resources that you may need. Because you can even take their feedback, especially if they say, I want you to go talk to so and so and so. Like, do you know so and so? Oh, yeah, it's a good friend of mine. Great. Would you mind introducing me to so and so? Yeah, because they're going to set the stage for you so that nobody feels like they're wasting their time by getting involved or connecting to you. You want that feedback to be a feedback that feeds you up the ladder in terms of success and happiness and joy and all that kind of good stuff. Which brings me to number 4. A lot of people believe that the most important thing that you need to have in your performance is an idea or a measurement of what success is, right? People who want to lose weight are not happy if the scale doesn't show XYZ numbers. And either the scale doesn't show the numbers that they thinking they're going to get, they give up because they didn't love the program. They love the results of the program. So they measure only toward the result, but not towards the initiative, not towards the effort, not towards, what causes the results to happen. In fact, I'm going to share a golden secret to you. If you stop worrying about the results and fall in love with the programs, with the systems, with the strategies that eventually will work, then you'll get to be happy with your everyday initiative, with your everyday effort, with your ongoing systematic progress towards achievement, right? So your habits then, the habits that you have that are happy habits, habits that you enjoy, are going to precede the quality and the performance that you produce. So I wrote down here rule number 4 is happiness is first, performance is second, right? If you could be happy with the effort, if you could be happy with the systems, if you're happy with the strategy that you're embracing, then I promise you the level of performance that you do is going to be amazing. It's going to be off the chart. Not only are you going to be happy with it, everybody who you want to impress is going to be happy with it. And they're going to then give you that feedback. And there again is that success loop that starts to come back. The feedback that you get will inform you of what you're doing and how you're doing, how well you're doing, which will make you even happier to do more. And you're going to do more. When you do more, you're going to get more relevant feedback and more success is going to be driven by it. And you're going to do more and be happy. And it's all going to start on and on, over and over, over and over again. That's how this works. There really is no other way to think about it. And again, if you want proof of that, go out and start asking yourself, what do I enjoy about what I get to do on a very consistent basis? In fact, start yourself a gratitude journal every day. Write down 3 things I enjoy about what I did today, what happened to me today, what I did today, what I'm grateful for, the effort that I put into today. Start doing that every day. After about 10 weeks, you're going to have maybe 30 examples of things that you do on a regular, consistent basis that you enjoy doing. Now, you should be able to see some magic in that after about a month, right? You should be able to see, oh my God, I, I consistently come back to this kind of idea. I'm always thinking about this kind of way, pattern of thinking or a way of doing things that really, really work best for me. What can I do to maximize that? What can I do to get to do more of that in that way every day? Yeah, I know some stuff I got to do that I don't really like, I don't really love, right? But if you get to do the things that you love, the way you love doing it, it's gonna affect your performance positively. You have no choice. That's just the way it works. So number 5, I love this one. Get over yourself and establish proof of all the claims of greatness that you make, right? And I'm telling you, yes, you do need to proclaim that you are great, gifted, talented, brilliant, even at this thing. I don't care what the thing is, but you need to know for yourself that this is where I am golden, right? Think of some of the Olympic athletes we just saw a couple of months ago and ask yourself the question, how many of these athletes are shy about their talent? I mean, how many of them don't believe? How many people get to the Olympic level but don't believe they're good enough to do the thing that they've been doing their entire life? Right? If it's basketball or gymnastics, I see my good coaches in the background. She just popped in. Thank you so very much for coming through. That's wonderful. I really wasn't expecting anybody to come through today, but I'm glad that you put it on the deck that that's something that you wanted to do. So I am impressed and fully excited about it. Um, I'm gonna bring um, Michelle GI up in front of you guys for a couple seconds just for her to introduce herself, and then I'm gonna kick her backstage again because she knows the game. She knows the drill already. So come on up and tell us about yourself, Michelle. Thank you so very much for being on the show today.
Hey, how are you doing, buddy? Hey, I want to just thank you. I'm always here in spirit, in mind, even if I'm not able to be here in body. But anytime I'm taking off on a Friday, I can't think of a better place to be than to hang out with my amazing thought leader brother. I call him Sunshine because he's always shining light into dark places in my mind. Marvin, thanks for having me. I'm Michelle Gardner Ince, aka GI, small business champion and advocate, all things small business, especially in the government and commercial space, for women, veteran, and minorities. It is my mission. It is my purpose, and I'm always honored to have the opportunity to share the stage with you. So I'll go back stage, and I had a little eye infection, so I'm wearing glasses. So I know you're not used to that, but hey, you know.
It looked good.
Thank,
Whatever you do, you look good doing it.
thank
So
you, thank
listen,
you, brother.
before you go backstage, tell everybody what you did last week, really quick.
Oh my God, what did I do last week? What did I do last week?
You
You
just came
know,
back from a conference, right?
oh my God. Well, these conferences run back to back. I was at a conference this week, 50 state initiative with Department of Treasury. Last week, I think I was at the Air Force Association conference, and I was at a JP Morgan conference for women, veterans, and military spouses. Got to hear Jamie Dimon speak for the first time. That was amazing. And one of my favorite vet biz ladies, Venus Quates, got to interview him. So, that was just like, I mean, he is everything that you think he is. He is a character, and I loved every bit of it. But what an amazing leader. And so, yeah, they're running together. The next 6 weeks, I am at 2 or 3 events every week. So forgive me if I don't remember. They start running together. Just out there trying to add value to the community.
That's what it is. That's what it's all about. Okay, so I'm gonna put you backstage real quick. I wanted you to do that though, because I wanted her to share, guys. I don't bring any jokers in front of you. I mean, this is real deal, Holyfield. This is, we got the real stuff happening when it comes to. I don't invite slouches on the show and to be guest coaches with me. So I'm really appreciative of Michelle. As you can see, she's very busy, and for her to take time to hang out with us, I couldn't ask for more. I mean, this is just icing on the cake, right? So I was getting into the nine rules of high performance, and let me go ahead and finish those out, and then Michelle and I'll chop it up a little bit. I think I was on what rule was I on? I was probably on rule number 5. Yeah, I was on rule number 5. Get over yourself and establish proof of all your claims. When you decide you are great at something, then it's okay that you are great at it, but you also need to have some backup. Other people need to say you're great. You need to have what I call third party evidence. You need to have testimonials, endorsements. You need to have actual recommendations of people. When you look on my LinkedIn profile, you're going to see over 200 recommendations of people that have experienced me in various iterations of my life and my career and my business. And they're going to tell you, they're telling you their thoughts about me. I couldn't write these things. I couldn't post these things. All I could do was accept them as they're written. So there might be some spellos, some typos, or whatever in those descriptions, but that is not me talking about me. That's other people talking about me. If I stand on the tallest mountain and scream to the loudest, I possibly can, I'm the greatest thing since sliced cheese. That's wonderful that I could do that, but it's not really believable if I do that. If other people do that, all of a sudden it becomes more believable. It becomes super credible, and it is even more credible when people who I am trying to impress or I want to be impressed by what I'm doing. That's my investors. That's my top clients. That is my supporters. That is my people who are lending their time, talent, and treasure to whatever I'm doing. Right? Those people, I need to make sure that they're understanding the benefits that I bring to the table and are sharing those benefits as much as they possibly can. Because what does that do? That saves me money and time in promotion, in marketing. I don't have to talk to people about stuff that's not relevant to them, that's not meaningful to them, just in hopes that something might stick. I don't have to have a capability statement that says I do everything, because guess what? I don't do everything, and I don't do everything well. And anybody who says that they do is probably lying, right? So think about that. Because if you can't prove it, you should never claim it. If you don't have any backup to your claims, you don't have anybody that other people that said, okay, yeah, you are wonderful at that, you're brilliant at that, or you're smart at that, or you're intelligent at that, or you're talented in this area, then maybe you shouldn't make the claim. Maybe you should get your proof first. Maybe you should get your third party testimonials first. It's not enough to have a degree or a certification or in the world where, Michelle and I play in often, there's all these contract vehicles and certifications that you have to have in order to even be thought to do certain things, especially within the federal government, right? But just because you have those certifications and those doesn't mean you actually are good, that you're actually a high performer. Even when you have proof that you've worked with another government agency, like you need to establish that proof that you work with another government agency on a program or whatever in order to get certain types of opportunities. Even though you have that, it doesn't mean you did a great job. It doesn't mean that people liked working with you. It doesn't mean you delivered anything of really true value. You might have just checked off the boxes. Yeah, I did the job. And doing the job is not enough. It's not enough. It's not sustainable. It's not something that you can build on, because somebody's going to come in and say, I can do the job better. And they can prove that they can do the job better. And what person that might hire you or might pay attention to you is not going to look at that if they're looking for quality, right? If they're looking for a level of quality, looking for a level of performance, you got to prove that you got the right stuff. So you don't want them second guessing you. That's another thing I wanted to mention to you in this particular module. Once you have been given the benefit of the doubt by somebody that you are as good as you say you are, it's hard for them to let that go. They've created some faith, they've generated some belief in you. And, if something went wrong, they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. They're going to say, you know, maybe it wasn't a good day. Maybe something else, something was going on, because they generally don't perform like this, or that's not the level of expectation that they're going to have. We're going to give them another shot before they bring the noose out and hang you, right? So you don't want to be in that position. So it's important that you establish your credibility right up front, and you can't establish your credibility by yourself. Don't even think you could or should, right? Number 6, you want to try to generate as many positive emotions in yourself and amongst others as possible. That's why I'm telling you, get these testimonials, ask for feedback often, before, during, and after you do the amazing things that you do, right? Get that feedback, get that positive, those positive emotions generating. It creates, and this is something that's true about every human being. Those positive emotions create a wave of chemical reactions that negative emotions cannot. Serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin. These are the 3 kind of hormonal responses we have to positive environments, positive initiatives, positive people. Oxytocin is the love drug. It makes us want more and crave more connection to people, more intimacy. And I'm not talking about the wrong kind of intimacy, right? I'm talking about the right kind of intimacy, the closeness that you get from feeling supported and feeling generally accepted in an environment, right? Then you talk about serotonin. Serotonin is that thing that just gives you the warm fuzzy feeling that things are well. I'm happy. Things are working really, really, really well. Dopamine is a serious, performance enhancement opportunity because it forces you to focus on the thing that you're focusing on and really, really focus well on it. That's why people who have ADD, ADHD have to have, you know, um, the kind of medical systems that help them create more dopamine in their system. So it helps them focus their attention. It helps them really hone in and on the thing that they need to hone in on so they can generate the best work possible for themselves, right? So it's super, super important for those who have a different level of neurological response or attentions to certain things. But you want to generate positive emotions. You want to be able to manufacture positive emotions. One of the ways you do that is by, fighting the negative thoughts when they creep into your brain. Immediately learn how to replace them with positive ideas and positive emotions. That's why I say use that gratitude journal every day. Write three, maybe two or three things that are amazing, that are wonderful, that you enjoy about today, about what happened today for you that was amazing. And I promise you, if you get looked used to looking for those amazing things in your day every day, you're going to find them. You're going to find it could be as simple as, there's a color on that chair over there that reminds me of something wonderfully that happened to me. In fact, it's funny because the chair I'm looking at right now is my grandfather's old chair. And it's draped in the same fabric that he's had on it. And I'm probably going to get it reupholstered. But the only reason I'm not getting it reupholstered anytime soon because it reminds me of him. And man, was he a great dude. He was funny, he was fun, he was sensitive and positive, and just never brought anything but positivity to my life. For as long as I had him here on this planet, I was so thankful and grateful for him. And so that chair I now have in my own office is kind of a reminder of him. But guess what? I might not have thought about it had I not been looking for something positive in today. Just looking around in my environment, just understanding some, and my environment is full of things that allow me to feel positive. Right? I don't put in my environment things that make me, sad. Yeah, I got pictures of my elders all over the place. I got pictures of, you know, people that I really love and people that I really respect all over the place. These are things that help me generate positive emotions and stay positive. But I got to remember to check them out. I can't take them for granted, right? If I take them for granted, like, oh yeah, that picture's there. Oh yeah, that property deed from the first home that my great 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 grandfather bought. Yeah, I got it right there. it's sitting right there. There's the deed to my family legacy, and we still own that property. Crazy, right? But these are things that I use to generate positive emotions. And anytime negative things come in here, because they're coming in through the outside, right? They're not coming in through my citadel that I built, right? They're coming in through the outside. They're coming in through the stuff box, right? It's the TV, it's the internet, it's all other stuff. This negative stuff is coming at me, and I have to combat it somehow, some way. I have to have something in my environment that helps me generate positive emotions. But it's more than just your environment, right? It's the people that you hang out with, people that you talk to on a regular, consistent basis. It's even outside of your home. How do you stay focused? How do you look at God's creation? And you're looking at the plants, the trees. You're experiencing even the weather that you don't want to experience. But you don't want to get rained on. It's rainy up here in Northern Virginia right now. You don't want to get rained on, but isn't it refreshing also? You don't want to get wet. You get nice stuff wet. I get that. But it's refreshing to have a little splash of fresh water. I mean, really, outside. It's wonderful. But you got to teach yourself how to enjoy it. I had to do that in the army in many days. I'm out there in the field and we're trudging through the mud. I had to learn how to enjoy mud. But you can do that. Humans have that capacity to learn to enjoy even things that are uncomfortable. You just have to start focusing on your mind what's beautiful about it, what's special about this moment, this opportunity. Number seven, enjoy every moment of your performance. As you're doing the thing that you're doing, you should enjoy it. You should be having a ball every time you get to do the thing that you love to do, every aspect of it. I enjoy every aspect of coming to you every Friday and bringing these great coaches and leaders in front of you all to talk about the things that we're talking about. Right? This is something that, as a high performer, you can't sustain this relevance if you don't enjoy it. You just can't do it, because if you don't enjoy it, you're working against yourself. So you definitely want to literally enjoy every segment of the process that gets you from point A to point B. I enjoy putting these ideas together and put them on paper, which I create training all day, every day, all night long sometimes. I'm up looking at, I'm creating a new way to help people get to a level of performance, because I'm going to make sure the people I get to work with benefit in a way that is demonstrative, that they can prove, you know, because I walk it like I talk it, right? Number eight, simple cells always. Don't overcomplicate things. That really doesn't need a whole bunch of explanation, but I'm going to explain it anyway. What I meant by that when I wrote that down for people is to get out of your own way. Stop making the situation more than it really is. In fact, most of the situations that I hear people complain about are over. It's over. Boil it down quickly to the lessons that you learned and move forward. The more you sit and wallow about something that happened, the more it becomes you, the more it takes over you. But the more you keep it simple and go, okay, this happened, face it. I'm not saying deny it or ignore it. Face it. This happened. Okay, what did I learn? Because situations are there for you to learn. Situations are happen for you to grow, and they're your opportunity to show up in ways that you might not have shown up in another way, right? So don't overcomplicate the thing, right? And keep it simple. Even if you're looking forward and you're trying to accomplish something, what are you trying? What are you really trying to accomplish? I can't stand that people come up with this agenda. I want to do this, that, this, that. This, it's too much. Slow down. You're overcomplicating this thing. What do you need to do first? What do you need to do well first? Because I promise you, if you do that first thing really well, then you get to do the next thing really well. And then the next thing, and then the next thing. But if you try to do all these things, you can't do them all. You're boggling yourself down with too much. Keep it simple. Focus on your focus and keep your priorities in order. When you're focusing on your priorities, it's very difficult to get sidetracked. It's very difficult to find something else that takes you someplace else where you don't deserve to be or shouldn't be. Very difficult when you're focusing on your focus, right? Number nine, bring your bring your miracles to all that you do. You inside inherently are simply miraculous. Everything you bring to the table, everything that you are here to do is a testament to everything that's bigger than you, your family, your community, your nation, God. There's so much that's bigger than you. And it's miraculous, right? It's something that's special. It's something that deserves the honor of your best effort, because that's who you represent. Every time you step to the plate to do whatever you step to the plate to do, you're not just representing yourself, you're representing your family, you're representing your community, you're representing your culture, you're representing God. So why would you give it short shrift? Why would you do less than your best? Doesn't that reputation deserve more? So that's the 9 steps, and I'm going to repeat them really quick so Michelle and I can chop it up a little bit later. Um, the 9 steps of high performance are: number one, commit to a detailed, well-written plan of flawless execution. Number two, discover and share talent correctly, your talent and other talents. Number three, masterfully seek and acquire the most relevant feedback. Always look for feedback and get it. Again, before, during, and after you think, do the thing you do. Number four, happiness is first, performance is second. If you enjoy everything you do, I promise you, you're going to perform really well, masterfully. Number five, get over yourself and establish a proof of all the claims that you make about your greatness, your abilities, your talent, your specialty, your whatever it is. Get other people to talk about that thing, right? Number six, always generate positive emotions. Find out what you can do to generate the positive feelings in yourself, and it will generate to everyone else around you. Always, all the time, and you can depend on it. Other people will depend on it. Michelle gets on this call. If she gets on this call and I'm all sad, sourpuss person, blah, 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 she ain't coming back because she don't need that in her life. Everybody needs more positive emotions. And so try to do your thing and generate those positive emotions. Number seven, enjoy every moment of your performance. Everything you're doing, everything you're saying, everything you're participating in, before the performance, during the performance, after the performance, just let it all soak in and be in it all the way so that you truly enjoy the experience, right? Number eight, simple sells always. Don't overcomplicate things. Number nine, bring the miraculous to all that you do because there's the miraculous in you. Okay, Michelle, I know you've been chopping it up back there, taking all kinds of copious notes and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
What do you want to share? What do you think of all the stuff that we talked about that people really need to hone in on and really focus on from your experience?
Well, the feedback, right? And first of all, thanks for having me. But the feedback is sometimes we assume the feedback we should pay attention to the most is the negative. And I will tell you, I don't listen much to that except for, I do live off of hater juice now. If you give me some haterade, I'm gonna drink it. But what's gonna come out is gonna mess you up because now I am going to show you undeniably that instead of hating me, you need to get on your job, right? And it goes
Right.
back to my saying, does everybody deserve your excellence? Because when we're excellent, we put others on notice. You better step up your game. And most of the time, hateration comes from lack of courage and lack of I was gonna say just being hungry, right? The courage to step out and just expose who they are and be the best, not worry about what anybody's gonna say. And then they're lazy because it's easier to sit back and just, judge from the sidelines and stay in this safe zone. So hateration is all about lack of courage and laziness. That's what I say. But the
I love it.
feedback I really want to focus on um, is that positive feedback. And in these last few months, I'm striving to be less of a Martha and more of a Mary. And if you know about the two sisters in the Bible, Martha was back there jobbing. She's
Right.
just all in it, and she's missing the whole purpose of the situation, that
Yes.
Christ is there and Mary
Right.
is there hearing all the nuggets, taking it in so that she can then repeat it and share it with others. And I'm telling you, the feedback that, and I'm not going to quote the scripture exactly, but the feedback that Jesus was giving her was one of affirming her.
Yes.
And many times we're just so busy, we miss those affirmations, right? You
For
told
true.
me something a couple of weeks ago that I'm still chewing on. That's part of the reason I just keep coming back, because it's
Right.
always a full meal deal. It's always five, six, 7 course meal, right? But you said something to me. I was telling you about a situation um, where people didn't really, were saying, "Oh, you need to calm it down. Maybe you're doing too much," and you said, "No, that just means you're in the wrong rooms, Michelle." And so that positive feedback is something that I'm processing in an effort to say, okay, now let me give off the energy. Let
Right.
me seek the places that will affirm me, appreciate me, value me. And it's not, and I want to take this a little deeper. It's not that people don't,
Right.
but I'm going to say to you, a a a um a gift is precious only when you know the value.
True. 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 True.
So there's people that know I'm a gift, and they're happy to use me and think even that they've used me up.
Hmm.
But in reality, they haven't even scratched the surface, because they're
Yes.
so busy being self absorbed and self focused and boxing me and others in, that they think
Hmm.
they have gotten everything. And so I
Right.
just wanted to say that that feedback that you gave me, which was positive, made me begin to see myself in a different way. And I think that in itself is the greatest gift you give me as a friend and a fellow coach. Is when we can give people positive feedback that hold up a mirror and say, let me show you what I see. Let me
Yes.
show you what God sees. Let me
Yes.
show you what the world sees. Now go get that. And
Yes.
that's what you do all the time for so many, not just me. It's something I try to do, to tell people you can do this. And it's the positive feedback that I think sometimes we're so quick to brush off, or not to walk slower to really take it all in, or to stop and pause and go, I really need to I really need to think about that. And instead, we take a lot of time to think about those things that are negative. And that feedback, I agree with you on asking people in real time, right? The minute somebody says, "Oh my God," somebody sent me a message, said, I want to do a recommendation, Michelle. And I'm like, okay, I just kind of, here it is. It made my eyes water.
Mm-mm.
She
I could do
touched.
a whole course, and I probably will, as a result of this conversation, do a whole course on how to give constructive feedback, because I think people miss the boat all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We give people feedback like we given Michael Jackson feedback. Like, "Oh, you're amazing, you're great, you're wonderful."
Mm,
Really?
mm,
That's not saying anything.
mm,
I
mm.
mean, it's saying that you feel all kinds of ways about it, and it's really selfish, but it's not really helping
That part.
Michael Jackson be better.
Mm-hmm. But if you went into detail
Right,
about what was valuable,
right.
what
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 is it?
what was impactful,
Yes,
what was
yes,
transformative.
yes.
See, and we go below the surface,
Right.
but that requires us to come, um be I was going to say come out of ourselves, but it requires us to be less about ourselves
Yes.
and more about giving the gift of gratitude, giving the great gift of appreciation. Even
Right.
if they didn't do anything for us, you have the ability, and this is what you have, Marvin. I want to give you your flowers. You have the ability to say, even though I may not be directly benefiting from it, I see how others can. So I want to let her or someone else know what you have is valuable.
Right.
That's magic. That's
It's
magic,
just
brother.
but it's so important. Like I said, back to that feedback should be specific to the best of your ability. What specifically did you get out of this? How what
Mhm.
specific
Mhm.
in terms of value that you did you receive? And because we have to learn to articulate those things. We're
Yes.
not good at that. We're not naturally good at that.
Why
We
why
have to
why do you
practice
think
that
that is?
because we've been known we learn to take shortcuts.
Oh,
We learn to do things. We'll say to the person, "Well, how you doing?" But then not pay attention to their response. Because if the response is anything other than everything's great, we're not really trying to hear that
yeah.
because we didn't really mean it when we asked the question, "How you doing?" Right? Or what's going on with you lately? And they start talking, and we stop listening
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they may be telling us too much
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
we didn't really
Yeah.
want to hear all that, right?
Yeah.
So I think that we have to learn to communicate more effectively and know that every time somebody asks us how we're doing, they don't really mean that, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
second of all, you know, when we're asking somebody how they're doing, do we really need to mean that?
Yes.
And when they give us an answer that's too like brief or too and oh everything's great. Well, what do you mean by that? What's
And
great about
or
everything?
if you say I'm great, uh or exactly, oh, I enjoyed your speech. This is one of my favorites.
Yes,
What about it? What
yes, exactly,
specifically what specifically did you enjoy?
right. I tell people right up front, if you come talk to me, I'm going to ask you for your feedback. So you got to be ready to tell me specifically what it
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
that you got or didn't get or wish you should have gotten out of this opportunity. Because I'm
Yes.
not interested in just your love or your joy. Your happiness or whatever that is. I'm not interested in that. I need to know how to get better, and I depend on
Yes.
you to
Yes.
give me the tools I need to get.
Yes.
So if I
Yes.
should have done something and I didn't do it that you expected me to do, let me know. Or if I did something that you expected me to do, or did something that was above what you expected me to do, let me know what that was too.
Yes.
You know, but
Specifically.
I'm gonna in seeking the feedback, and this something I didn't get a chance to share in today's talk. But in seeking the feedback, I'm gonna ask for the feedback right away because I only
Yeah.
exist for the feedback. I'm not here because I'm just trying to do a job. Somebody paid me, or I was a sponsor,
Mhm.
or whatever that was. I'm not here for that. I'm here for the feedback. I'm trying to get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I'm talking to you and you don't have anything that tell me that's gonna help me get better, why am I talking to you?
What is your desire, though, Marvin, to be better at that?
Where does that come from?
Yeah. What is your desire to be better, um, at at impacting people, at affirming
Oh my
people,
God.
at giving
Well,
feedback? Where does that? There's a source of that, right?
yeah. Yeah, you taking me back to the Bible. I really believe that we all have talents.
Mm-hmm.
God gave us our talents, and our talents are supposed to be used for his glory. And
Mm-hmm.
so the better we get at it, the more we're going to get to a point where it's well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things, and now I'm going to give you some more.
Yes.
That's what it's really all
Yes.
about. Abundance is what
Yes.
it's about,
Yes.
and
Yes.
wanting to be in that mojo moment all the time.
Yes.
I
You know
don't
what
want to
I
be coming up short ever.
Yes, you know what I would say my source is? My source again goes
You know
back
what,
to
Michelle? I'm gonna cut you off because you and I got to talk. This is gonna be good for you. Yeah, this ain't for everybody else. Y'all don't get a chance to play with us. When we're talking about the real stuff. Y'all sneaky peek on a little bit of stuff, but we gonna get real talk here in a minute. So I'm gonna end the show. Let me put you backstage real quick because the show's going on too long. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been more than an hour in recording right now, and it's going to make it hard to duplicate and send this out. So I want to make sure we close the show. I'm sorry if we couldn't get into your questions or anything like that, but I'm with my girl right now. We got to spend some quality time. So I'm gonna say goodbye to the rest of you all. I hope you all do a great time. Have a great week. I'll see you next week. I'm probably gonna pre-record next week's show. I don't know because I got some other things going on, but we're going to be here for you. Trust me, no matter how we do it. Talk to you soon, and bye bye.